Hey, what is up everybody, Blades for here, and today for you guys another video of Persona 5X. Inside today's video guys, we're going to be going over exactly what we should be using our stamina on, at least for the global launch here. Now this has been a question that I've gotten for quite some time here, and some people don't really know exactly what you want to use your stamina on, so I'll be here to actually go ahead and clear this on up. So if you guys find this video very interesting and actually helpful, be sure to let me know down below in the comments. Be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button. Seeing it tells me that you guys want to see more videos like this. It really does mean a lot here. We've been growing very steadily, and seeing you guys just pop up in the streams have been an absolute blast. So thank you guys very much for actually coming out and chilling with us. We're going to go ahead and continue from here. So as I did say, this is more or less going to be some tips and tricks with our stamina here, kind of telling you exactly where you want to go ahead and utilize these said staminas. One of the few things I would like to say that you guys will want to focus on first is definitely going to be personas. Now personas are the biggest thing, especially in this game, seeing they unlock a lot of properties regarding our man Wonder. At the end of the day here, the more personas you do have, the more bonuses you get with Wonder, and the more different little optional things that you can really do with Wonder to make him helpful for the rest of your team. By gathering each of these personas here, they do go into the compendium, which can be found inside the Velvet Room here, or at least in the other version of the Velvet Room, since we haven't actually clicked it yet, in which will give you these said points. This is going to be the main place where you use a lot of your stamina. Seeing you're farming so many of these actual personas here, you're then going to be able at different level caps to actually merge these said personas to create more of them, get more of these said points for Wonder, and make him even stronger. More points, all you really got to know is the better. These points then can actually be transferred to our man, or at least our man Wonder here, in which go to this icon right here. What this essentially is, at least, is a talent tree that once you get a lot of these talents actually upgraded, Wonder can then share all of these stats to his teammates, and or just be very helpful by himself to really help you guys out in a supportive manner, which will be a huge part of your teams here. This is definitely the first thing I would say a lot of you guys want to go ahead and actually do. Every 10 levels, I think, of your actual account, you will start to unlock more personas, and then you can continue to rinse and repeat throughout the game. This is the first thing I say as a new player you want to go ahead and do, especially with your stamina that you do have. If there's no stamina events such as like double EXP or double different Ascension Materials, this is definitely the place you want to go, or at least go for first. So surely do keep that in mind. Now the next place that you guys can very well use your stamina, I would like to go ahead and say that's going to be in the Ascension Materials area. Now the Ascension Materials area is pretty simple here. It's going to be at least comprised of these little Ascension Materials here, the ones for some weapons, the ones even for at least your talent trees, and so on for those. Now I wouldn't advise for any type of Ascension Materials or any type of materials in general, please do not go for these first. These are going to be the materials that you kind of want to go for last, and so we're going to go ahead and at least slide that on the table for now. And the main reason for this, because you're going to get these from chests. But these are going to be your big ones here. Let's say you've done a lot of persona grinding and you no longer need to do anymore. Well, Ascension Materials such as at least the Weapon Ascension and of course our level up Ascension Materials are going to be the most important. Reason being for this is because they're able to unlock the level cap, which can help you get more base stats, or at least your characters in general. What I mean by that is every few stats, of course, you're able to upgrade your characters, and they do have these base stats. As far as you keep going here, you're able to unlock more and more of these base stats and upgrade your passive accordingly. The higher, of course, your level, the better passive they're going to end up leveling up to, and the more you're going to actually get some use out of that said character. So why not get the permanent stats by just going ahead and sending these characters as much as possible? And the same can technically be said even with their weapons. Just by upgrading the weapon, as you slowly do go on here, and not looking at actually that one, but looking at just in general with the leveling system here, as you slowly do get the weapon upgraded here, you're actually able to get more and more of these base stats for your character. Might as well get the permanent base stats as fast as possible, seeing that this is really going to help you out in the long run, especially when it comes down to at least doing a lot more harder content. I feel like after you guys are pretty much done with all the personas, that might be the first thing that you want to do, though just keep in mind, let's say you haven't done mementos just yet. You might want to do that first. And the main reason I say that is because mementos has a ton of these actual boxes laying around here that carries majority of these Ascension materials, whether it's for your character, whether it's things for your talents, or even whether it's things for your weapons. If you haven't done mementos, which is this little function right here, or at least both of these functions, I guess you can say, they're going to be your main deal that you want to go ahead and look for. The further that you go inside of at least mementos, the better it's going to be here, which does have fair amount of at least stairways, or at least fair amount of little tracks that you can go to and check out majority of these chest boxes. They're going to give you a lot of Ascension materials and more, so I would suggest you guys doing that before you do decide to use any of your stamina on anything else. But that's just me. Now the next thing that we're going to go ahead and go over is the EXP materials and soul gems. I'm mainly doing these first here because at least this can be more of your borderline thing that you do at the end of the time. Let's say you're not at the level where you need revelation cards, which you shouldn't need for quite some time here. EXP materials and soul gems are going to be fairly important, mainly because you're going to need EXP to level up your said characters, and then you're going to need soul gems to utilize said EXP in order to level up those said characters and those said weapons. Soul gems are pretty much just the normal currency that's around for getting up characters, so you're going to need at least a lot of it, especially if you're looking forward to actually helping your account out and really just leveling up everyone for all the free pulls that you can get your hands on. It's going to be a very important type of mechanic here, so surely do get this as much as possible. So just like I said with the Ascension materials, try to do mementos in your palaces as far as possible until you can't do anymore before deciding to at least use your stamina on this. Main reason is because you get a ton of materials out of there, so it's better to get the materials out of there real quick, and then once you run out of that said amount of stuff to do, then use your stamina on this if you aren't capped. If you're already capped out, use a little bit of your stamina first, then proceed to go ahead and do the extracurricular stuff first before we go ahead and use the rest of our stamina. Now for last thing here, and I'll save this for last, is going to be the revolution cards. Now, revelation cards are what they called here, but revelation cards are probably the one thing that I'd say you want to grind the least here, mainly because of the level cap I would advise you guys getting. First of all, you unlock these at least around level 35, so you really won't have them very quickly, is going to be the first thing. But the second thing is mainly because the revelation cards can get very picky. To be honest, you can live pretty dang long if you just go ahead and take the revelation cards that you just get from mementos or even inside of different palaces and just put them randomly on your characters. They give enough base stats just by upgrading them a little bit here, so you really don't need to at least farm them very early. But if you're at that point of farming, which I would say is usually level 70 here, don't know how you would get there that quickly, but level 70 is probably where I say you want to start farming these guys. That's where you want to go ahead and start utilizing your stamina for it. I wouldn't advise this mainly for anyone else unless you're just wailing that hard. I really don't think you should be going for at least these cards too quickly. They're just not worth it. They do give you a decent bit of stats, and it is helpful to get at least the higher versions of them, but until you at least level further up, at least into the leveling range for your account, you're not going to get anything better, but it does progress with your account level. If your account level is only 35, you're only able to get blues and purples, and only a little bit of them at that. As for if your account is level 50, you start seeing a little bit more of at least golds, at least one apiece, while also getting more blues and purples. And then of course, if you're able to wait on to level 70 and 80, for example, you get yourself more on golds and only purples inside of at least the card pool. So it kind of makes sense to save this for last. It's not something that you guys really want to go ahead and do early in, and that is my whole at least spiel about that. Now of course, when it comes down to stamina here, those are the main things that I would at least recommend you guys going ahead and doing to at least utilize your stamina efficiently. If you still have stamina left over, be sure to knock out at least the weekly boss every stinking week here, because it's going to give you a lot of your talent materials that you do need, and pretty much at that point in time you can kind of see exactly what you're lacking at the end of the day. But that's all I can pretty much say when it does come down to at least utilizing your stamina correctly, and we're going to have more guides like this for you guys to be prepared as much as possible. But for now, thank you guys for watching. You have a wonderful day. Peace.